Welcome to another episode of the Average African Kid podcast, the Double AK podcast. Today, we're going to be coming to you with a different angle, a different perspective of things, and we're going to be talking about progress. And have you ever been in a position where you feel like all your friends and classmates, people you know, are just way ahead of you? Or let's say during this lockdown, you got to a position where you were feeling that, oh, everyone else is making progress but me at this point in my life. And you scroll through Instagram and you scroll through Facebook, if you still do Facebook, and you see everything else is so far ahead of you. Let's talk about that in this episode. So, where does this thing come from? Where does this ability to compare ourselves with others and feel bad about ourselves come from? I believe that it has been in us all our lives. We've been taught to compete in secondary school, in high school, in junior secondary school, in primary school, in kindergarten, whatever you call it. We've always had this sense that we are in a competition with our peers. In other words, I have to be smarter than person B, and I have to have a better grade than person B. And once my grades are better than person B, or in this case, the whole classroom, I am successful. In other words, I am the first in my class, and I am not happy because I got a 60 of 100 in all my courses, but because I beat everybody else. And if you were taught right, I mean, I won't say right, but if you were taught in the right format, you would learn that, I don't think, don't shoot the messenger here. You will learn that the best competition you can make is with yourself. So if you were taught right, you will learn that a 60 of 100 is cool, but it's not good because others got worse than you. You can actually go on to get the best that you can get. Forget about the competition. And that might go into being like you end up with a 95 of 100 and two or four other people have a 96, 97, 98. That doesn't say that you are not good at what you do. It just means that someone was actually better in that context. So we get this whole thing for competition when we grow up all the way till when we become adults. And then we go on the social media platforms, we go to our jobs, we see our colleagues there, we see our friends, we see them in real life, and we see them on social media or on YouTube or wherever they are, and they seem so far ahead of us. I am guilty of this thing myself too, because I know that there's something, the highlight reel. We pick the highlight reels, and that's what we show on our social media pages. You see, I do the exact same thing. Like, I don't post often. I post once in 2, 3 weeks. But when I do post, it's a highlight reel of not something that I think will make people jealous, but something I think is very vital in my life that I would like to share and make known that people should gain something from it. But still, it's still a highlight reel, and it's still like a snippet. Like, for example, when I had an accident in January, I did not post that up because it was nobody's business. It just happened, and praise God that we were able to sort things out with that. But when my dad passed, I posted that one because that was a highlight, and that was good to post because I wanted to make the world know that, hey, this is where I am right now in my life, and this is what's happened. So, no, that's not a great example. That's not a great example because that highlight reel is not something that people are going to be envious of. But you get what I'm trying to say. You only post the things that are extraordinarily good in your life. And going back to that point, we begin to realize that although we are in a position in our lives and we see our friends and our colleagues and our classmates going on to new phases of life, it feels like we're behind. And in a way, we are behind them, but it's okay. How do we understand this phenomenon? Do we say it's because we are jealous of others that we feel sad when they move on and leave us where we are? Or do we say that we are just over competitive? I would say it could be a mixture of many things, but I would say we have to check our hearts and our motives in life. And when you see friends and colleagues and people you are close to making a lot more progress, quote unquote, than you, It's okay. It's okay. I'm learning that it is actually okay. I don't have to try and emulate them. I don't have to try and up my game. I just have to be where the Lord has placed me at this time being. I looked at it this way when I was in A level and I saw some of my classmates doing really well. You see, the life isn't just a straight line, it's more like a curved road, and with so many wiggles up and down, left and right, forward and backwards, and it feels like in at a snapshot in time, it feels like person B is way ahead of me, but in reality, that person B ends up coming back around to where you are, goes behind you, goes to the right, to the left, up and down, and comes back forward again. The path is not straightforward. And everyone has their own race to run, yes, but realize that someone might be going to study in Europe and you are like, oh no, I haven't been out of the country before. But you do not realize that somewhere along the line, let's say when you start working, you will end up traveling to Tokyo or Japan. And at that point in time, the person who studied in Europe will be like, oh, I never got to go to Tokyo or Japan. Or you get to go to the capital, Abuja, or you don't get to go anywhere as it is right now. But later on, a bigger opportunity arises that people who didn't have had the opportunities that you wanted would not have at the point in time. I think you're getting the kind of gist I'm trying to say. So, what if we stop looking at things as in the moment, as present? Like my best friend has just left the same phase of life that I am in, so I choose not to feel bad and not to feel left behind, but I choose to celebrate with them as they are where they are. And I choose to smile at my own current situation, knowing that I am not left behind. I am not lost. I am not out of reach. I am just simply in a different spot in my life than I have ever been before, and I am okay with that. Once we start accepting that we don't have to be where others are, we start realizing that we can live a lot more relaxed and a lot more open to what the Lord has in store for us, because it's okay to feel left behind sometimes. But you are not alone. Okay, I don't know how that turned out. I don't even know if that's a good episode or not, but I do know that we have these feelings in us that tell us that we are not good enough and that at different times we are not worth it, and our friends and peers have way excelled us and we are behind or the leftover of the crop. But don't give in to those feelings. Don't give in to those thoughts. Don't give in to those implanted ideas in your head. The truth is that you are not left behind. You are not forgotten. And although it might take a bit longer to see the reason behind you being stuck at home during COVID 19, or you being stuck with family somewhere, or you being stuck alone somewhere, or you being already in school, or you being already working, or you being prepared or still preparing to write an examination. Whatever phase you were in and you feel that you are stuck trying to apply over and again to professional schools, or wherever phase you're in that you see you're stuck, it's okay. Focus on that phase in life. Enjoy this phase of your life because it doesn't come around again. There was a time when there was a lockdown in Warri where I stayed and with my family, and it was complete lockdown. We couldn't go out for about a month. It was the most silent area in the my whole life. I've never been that quiet. We could walk down to the hospital and it was dead silent on the main road. No noise whatsoever, no cars. And I was like, oh, what kind of phase is this? This is so quiet. But I ended up enjoying it because I realized, that, oh, wow, this is so beautiful. I'll never be able to experience this serenity and calm ever again. I'll walk with my dad and we'll go out, we'll play soccer and everything else. And now that he is gone to be with the Lord, I look back at those times of serenity and I'm like, wow, those were powerful times. The peace, the calm before the storm. Yep, the calm before the storm. That's what it was. And I'm very grateful for that time. You are not forgotten. You are not left behind. I am not forgotten. I am not left behind. We press on. Someone might be moving faster than you. Just keep moving. Just keep moving. Okay, that was this episode. I think that was specifically for one person or two persons. If this wasn't exactly for you, thanks for listening. Thanks for sticking in there. But keep pushing onward and upwards. And that's it, folks, for another episode of the Average African Kid podcast, the double AK. Thank you.